So welcome back to the channel everyone, Triple M here, and today we're taking a look at the Dynalink Android TV box. Now this one is going to be in that same comfortable, cushy area with your Fire TV sticks, your Chromecast or Google TV, your TiVo Stream 4K, as well as the Onn 4K streamer. Now this is a 4K box, does come with 2 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of internal storage, and it does have a quad-core CPU. So this does have Android TV, so it's going to look exactly like the NVIDIA Shield TV. This is based off Android 10. So very important that this does have a Bluetooth remote, which means you don't need to point this directly at your device to control it. Bluetooth 4.2, dual band Wi-Fi at 5, as well as 2.4 gigahertz. And last but not least, it does have Chromecast built in. So what I'm going to do is unbox it, test it out, see what's under the hood. I do want to get it benchmarked, that way I can see where it compares to your Fire TV sticks, your Chromecast, and also I want to do some gaming on it just to see how this stacks up to the competition. And with the Super Bowl right around the corner, this is a chance for you to bring the stadium atmosphere right to your living room with the Dynalink TV box. Now, as you can see there, the price has been reduced from $49.99 to $39.99, so definitely check the links if you're interested. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so we are going to have a quick start guide. This is going to tell you everything you need to know about the device, what's in the box, how to plug it up. The device itself is right here, and I'm going to get into it a little bit later, but this is freaking tiny. Put it to the side for now. We also have an HDMI cable, and this is probably the shortest HDMI cable I've ever seen come with one of these devices. This is probably about 1 foot long, guys, so this is definitely meant to just hang behind your TV. So plug it into the TV, let it hang. Yeah, short HDMI cable. Here's our actual power brick, and this is micro USB, but it does come attached, so you can unplug this and just stick it into your TV. But maybe if you have a micro USB with the USB-A on the other side, you should be able to plug it into any USB device and use this for power. You have the remote, and the remote does come with 2 AAA batteries. Let's go ahead and plug those in. All right, so here's a look at the remote control, guys, and I'm not upset at it. It did go with the minimal approach. Not too many buttons, but as far as just the feel in your hands, feels pretty good. Up top, you're gonna have your power button. You do have the microphone right here, mute, your navigation, of course, in the middle. You have your back, your Google Assistant, home, volume rocker. You also have dedicated Netflix, YouTube, as well as your Google Play button. And here's the device itself, guys. Like I said, this is pretty tiny. I can comfortably fit this in my hand. And just to give you a frame of reference, this is an AirPod case. As far as the ports on this device, has HDMI on one end, micro USB on the other end. You have a button right here. So it turns out that this button does have some functionality. So press and hold it up to 3 seconds for Bluetooth pairing. So if you have a game controller or headsets or something, you should be able to use this to connect directly. Also, if you press and hold it for 10 seconds, it will factory data reset. So it looks like 10 seconds will wipe your device, and I hope that's not the case. Just seems too easy to wipe the device. Maybe your son or daughter get a hold of this and all your games and apps could be gone. But I'll take their word for it. I'm not going to test it out. And that's it. Very basic as far as the looks and the ports that's available. Definitely want to make sure that we can hook up an OTG on this. That way we can add our USB dongles, we can add storage, we can do other things. So let's go ahead, get it set up, and do some other tests. So finally got everything loaded up, and you can see everything looks pretty good. So if you're used to the NVIDIA Shield TV, this is the user interface that you're accustomed to. One cool thing about Android TV is that you do have the options to actually customize what you're looking at. So if you don't want to see all these menus, you can go all the way to the bottom, customize the menu. Then you can choose specific applications that you can turn off. One thing that I always do, always go down and I go to promotion and I turn that off. That will get rid of some of the ads that's always in your face. Same thing, if you go back out, you can move menus up and down. So easy to do that. You click to the left,
hit the up and down, then you can move that menu where you need it as well. And another thing you can do with your apps up here, you can actually move them around. You can add applications to your favorites. So with this, you can really customize what you're seeing at the home page. So let's jump into some of the features of this and some of the meats and bones. So one thing about this, it does have the full Google Assistant, which means you just press the button on your remote. It should be able to send commands. Let's go ahead and check it out. What is the temperature like in El Paso? So you can see that pops right up, and no issues there. You can send other commands. Let's go ahead and see if we can open an application. Google Play Store. All right, so that went in. Let's try one more thing. Watch Cobra Kai on Netflix. So it does what it's supposed to. As far as your basic voice assistant, it does what it's supposed to. And while we're on Netflix, I should let you guys know that you are able to watch your content there in the high definition quality. A lot of those cheaper boxes don't have the official Netflix app, but this one does. Works well. Obviously I can't show it here, but no issues there at all. Now remember that this is also a 4K streaming device. So if you're someone that watches 4K content, whether it's on Netflix, on YouTube, this will display well, and it should bring you quality picture. So let's go ahead and launch a 4K video on YouTube. So here we are. This is a 4K video, as you can see. Looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and go to more. We're going to go over. You can see that it is 2160p, which is 4K, and looks beautiful on this monitor, even though it's only a 1080p monitor. So let's go over. We're going to go to Stat for Nerds just to see what frame rates we're getting. So you can see that output there is 4K at 30 frames per second. So you can see out of about 1500 frames, we only had 2 drop frames, which is pretty good. And if you go further down, you can see connection speed, buffer health, as well as some useful information. Definitely a nice tool to have just to evaluate how well your device is performing. Let me skip ahead. So we'll just skip ahead, just kind of see if we have any issues. So, all right, so again, that looks really good, really beautiful. So no issues playing 4K, issues skipping ahead doing 4K. You saw my speed tests, they weren't that spectacular, but this device handles it well. So we are going to do some gaming tests later, but before we do, just know that this does have Chromecast built in, which means that if you're on a mobile device, you should be able to hit the Chromecast icon in the top right. It should find the device. For me, I do see that it did find the Dynalink TV box, and you can see now streaming from my iPhone, and it starts playing the video immediately from my phone. From the remote, I'm able to control it, skip ahead. So no issues there. Chromecast is built in and it works really well.
So we're going to test a couple things. Let's start out with a network speed test. I do have it connected to my Wi-Fi currently, but I am going to switch it and see if the OTG adapter with an Ethernet adapter works as well. So launching Analytica. This is on my 5 gigahertz network, T-Mobile internet. If you guys have seen those reviews, normally I get around 200 to 300 megabits per second on the download. This is not too far behind. We're getting 153 on the download and about 11 to 12 on the uploads. So if you guys don't know what an OTG adapter is, so what it does, it allows you to add a USB port to your actual device. So this will plug into your device. This is the micro USB. The power is going to go in here, and then this USB port becomes available. Let's go ahead and we'll get that connected and we'll see if that works. So I am going to disconnect the power here. So testing the Wi-Fi, I have 2 Ethernet to USB adapters that I will be using. One's going to be Ugreen Ethernet. This one's been working well in the past. And the other one is going to be a Cable Matters Ethernet adapter. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with the Ugreen. So I got it plugged in. I'm not seeing an activity light, but we'll still go ahead and we'll just check it to see if it recognizes it as a wire connection. So it looked like it's still on Wi-Fi, guys. So nothing as of yet. Let me try the other adapter. So this one I do see activity lights flashing, which means that it is recognized. Let me go back and we'll go back into it. All right, so if you look up top right here, now it does say Ethernet connection, and it is going. One thing about these Ethernet adapters, for the most part, you're not gonna get gigabit speed. So they are capped at 100 megabits per second. So that's probably the max you're gonna be able to get from one of these. But if you're in a pinch, this might be the way to go. So another thing I wanted to do is see if we can add storage, see if we can adapt storage, see if we can install third-party applications. I do have a lot of content on this hard drive, so we'll go ahead and test it out. So it does detect it, which is good. Let's click on that. And you can see it does detect the drive. So click on it. I do have a couple options, and this is going to be huge for anyone who's want to add more storage, because remember, this only comes with 8 gigs of storage. So if you have the option and it looks like you do, so 2 basic options. So browse it, you can see what's on it. If you have apps, if you have movies, TV shows, you can go ahead and watch it directly from there, or you can set it up as device storage. And device storage is the same as adapt storage, and what that means is that when you set it up as device storage, it basically binds this hard drive to the 8 gigs that's in there and just make it one. Now this does have a lot of advantages, couple disadvantages. Advantages, of course, you get larger space, you get more space to install your applications or store your content. Big disadvantage is that once you combine it, it will wipe this drive, and also you will not be able to use this drive on anything else. So keep that in mind when deciding what to do. So for this, I'm not going to bind it, but just good to know that that option is there. All right, so Explorer, you can see that's the root drive. The content drive is over here. If I click on that, you can see all the content that's on my drive, guys. So I have some default stuff. I have Netflix games on here, some reviews. I also have some APKs, which we're gonna try out. So I do have IDA 64. Let's see if we're able to install it. We're gonna go to our settings, and we're just gonna go ahead and turn on the ability on whichever applications you want to be able to install unknown apps or third-party applications. So let's go ahead and we'll try it again. All right, so for anyone that's asking, can I install third-party applications on this device? Yes, you can. And you can see I do have some content on here that I was working on, so I can click play. You can see that's behind the scenes. So everything there seems to be working fine. As far as just being able to play content directly from a drive, good to know that if you have movies, if you have TV shows on your drive, you should be able to go in and just play it directly from a drive. Let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and run a benchmark. Then we're going to come back and go into some more tests.
So here we are with the benchmark results, and you see we scored a 361 overall. And just to compare this with other streaming devices within that same price range, Chromecast or Google TV scored a 576 on the same test. Fire TV Stick 4K Max scored a 398. TiVo Stream 4K scored a 367, and the Onn 4K streamer scored a 357. So still lower than those devices that I mentioned, but not much in between them. So with Bluetooth enabled on this device, I am able to go in and connect my Xbox One controller to it. That setup, that pairing process was pretty straightforward. Once I connected, you can see I have the freedom to move, navigate, and also do some gaming, which I've been waiting to test out. So here we are on Asphalt 8, and this is probably one of my favorite Android games. You can see the Dynalink handles it with no issues. Not only was I able to game smoothly with the controller connected, I didn't experience any lag, any freezing, any stuttering. And with this device, it can handle gaming, light gaming. However, it wasn't made for gaming, but it does a good job with light gaming as well as streaming. So the price on this is currently $39.99. I'll leave an Amazon link in the description where you can go ahead and pick one up. If you have any questions about this, drop it in the comments. Always don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.